When I was 18, I spent 2 weeks backpacking across Europe with my grandpa. Yes, I had lots of friends. I come from a fun family. Couple of ankle monitors in the bunch, if you catch my drift. And my grandpa was terrific. He used to tell me, Jess, when I die, I want you to scatter my ashes at Walmart, so at least I know you'll visit. My grandpa's the reason that I became a comedian, and the reason I believe we can have a fun outlook on life. We were doing the Europe on the $5 a day plan, eating stale day-old bread, traveling everywhere by foot, and staying in hostels that sometimes had livestock living in the lobby. And while I complained about it all, my grandpa just laughed about it. I'd say, Grandpa, the shower's just a hole in the wall. And he'd say, ha ha, life's an adventure. And I'd say, Grandpa, the rooster just attacked me again. He'd say, ha ha, roosters are an adventure. I didn't know what to make of his laughy reactions, but I just thought, that's what it's like to be 200 years old, I guess. One night we were walking down a dark street, and a very flashy man in a very flashy car pulled up next to us. And the man rolled down his window and said, quickly, quickly, approach the car, tell no one, I just need direction. And we said, oh, sorry, friend, we are Canadian and can't help you, eh? He says, oh, that's okay, I love Canada. I have a special deal for you. Quickly, quickly, give me your money, tell no one, special deal just for you, Canada, haha, special deal. We had Stockholm Syndrome after 2 minutes, apparently, because I thought, well, who doesn't want a special deal? And we handed over our money. The man took the money and then threw 2 packages out of the back of his car and drove away yelling, technically, I have not robbed you. So as the shock wore off, I realized we'd been duped. And I opened the first package thinking, please let this be something good that I can sell and recoup some of this money. And I pull out a tiny fake leather jacket. It has red and black stripes, straight out of Michael Jackson's Thriller video. Only this jacket is so small, it would only have fit a baby. I open the second package, please let this be something better, and I pull out an even tinier version of the first jacket. And then I hear wheezing behind me, and I think, on top of it all, Grandpa's dying. And I turn and look, and he's bent over because he's laughing so hard. I said, Grandpa, what are you always laughing about? We just gave away all our money, and all we have are these 2 tiny Thriller baby jackets. And he said, Jess, we weren't paying for the jackets. We were paying for the story. We're paying for the story. Is that really possible, to laugh away life's minor mishaps? Well, psychology professor Dr. Stephen C. Hayes proved that humor helps us detach from stress. Instead of allowing a negative event to trigger a cascade of negative thinking, humor helps us see that our reaction is separate from the stressful event. I was so incredibly grateful for that. But on that trip, I was just focused on the negatives, and he was focused on the humor. So who's better off? Laughter wins. That's why the Canadian Housekeeping Olympics made their trophy the Golden Toilet Brush Award. Because comedy is awesome, and it can make us healthier. A study at Loma Linda University showed that health-promoting hormones increased in volunteers who were told they would be watching a comedy. That means even just the anticipation of watching a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie can make you feel healthier. On a personal note, living a fun life was the motivation that I needed to take better care of my mental health. I had been through a 2-year depression. And when I finally started to feel better, I was so grateful that I swore I'd never rock the boat again, I would never go out on a limb, I would keep the bar low, and I would live a small life. Have you ever let fear or self-doubt stop you from going after the life you want? That's where I was, just scared to get hurt again, and so I wanted to live small. But I think that when we have been through something hard, and everyone here has been through something hard to get to where you are today, I want to live a life of laughter and joy and energy as a celebration of life's second chances and to make up for the times when life was really hard. So I got back out a funny journal. I had kept a funny journal for many years, just a book where I jot down things that seem cringeworthy in the moment, but funny in hindsight. Like when my kids told me, "Mom, you have the softest beard." Thanks, kids. Or the time my cousin Paul got his driver's license. His mom was so proud. She said, "Paul, take the car for a celebratory spin around the block." And he drove the car around the block, and then he drove it right into her front porch. And she came out screaming, "Are you happy, Paul? You can kiss your college fund goodbye." And we laughed and laughed, because we knew Paul's never going to college. Come on. So I just kept writing down things that would go wrong in life for my own entertainment. And the more that I jotted down life's bumps and bruises, the easier life felt, the more fun life felt. So nothing had changed except my perspective and my outlook. And it wasn't just me. I started asking other people about their fails and setbacks and that time they dated a DJ. And when we laughed about it together, I could see a weight lifting. Laughing together reminds us we are not alone in our problems. But how do we make that perspective shift on a day or a week when things are going so wrong that your swear jar now takes credit cards? Fortunately, you don't have to be funny to benefit from humor. Even the chronically unfunny can benefit from a brighter outlook. And so here are a couple of ways to shift toward a mindset of humor. First of all, jot it down. Keep a funny journal, like I said. Maybe it's not going to be a book for you. Maybe it's just the notes app on your phone where you can write down cringeworthy things that you can laugh about later. Like the time my son befriended a boy named Russell because he thought his name was Wrestle. He said, "I kept waiting for him to fight me and he wouldn't." So now we make people jot down their name before we commit to friendship. Next, we want to relax. Mindfulness, meditation, even just deep breathing can help you be less reactive, so it's easier to see the humor in life. By the way, I took a class on meditation once, but they were like, "Can you stop texting?" And I'm like, "Why? We're just sitting here. Sitting here for $25 an hour." And we also want to do this little life hack. Next time something is bothering you, Google whatever it is that's stressing you out, plus comedian, and you will get a professional comedian's take on your problems. It is free, it is surprisingly therapeutic, and you just turn it off when you're done. And so I have found that really, really helpful. The next thing we want to do is collect things that make us laugh, build our comedy library. So keeping funny comic strips you see or funny news stories. I loved this one. This is a true story. A British government agency decided to let the public vote on a name for their new research vessel. The name with the most votes? Boaty McBoatface. It's a true story. I love it. They did end up changing it to the Sir David Attenborough. Potatoes, potatoes. Laugh about our problems with a trusted friend. That can just help us feel like we're not alone in our problems. So for me, I learned to do this on a volunteer trip in Venezuela with a friend of mine. We had enough of defending our declining appearances and decided we were going to be more proactive in how we greeted people. "Hola, I'm sunburnt and I have a bad perm. I've gained 20 pounds and my mosquito bites make me look like a pink Dalmatian. ¿Cómo estás?" And finally, be the fun. Be the fun. If you're nervous about a presentation, ask ChatGPT to write you an opening funny line, or start your slide presentation with a funny cartoon, or make the sign-off on your email a comedian's one-liner, always crediting the author. My favorite is this one by Stephen Wright. "If at first you don't succeed, then skydiving definitely isn't for you." So, however you choose to change your outlook on life, whether you want to use a filter of looking for the fun, or maybe you want to focus on gratitude or joy, whatever it is that you use as a filter for life, it's an elephant-size improvement on the negativity bias that our brain usually steers us toward. I'm so grateful I adopted my grandfather's fun outlook. I even wear a bracelet with the words fun and kindness on it so that I can be reminded of my grandparents a lot. And the most special thing to me is that I've seen the ripple effect from paying attention to his humor. About a year ago, I was in Tampa Bay with my son, and we had nothing to do. We're walking down by the water, and we see that there's boats for rent. The man calls out, "You want to rent a boat?" And I said, I can't, I don't have my boating license. And he said, "That's okay, you got $80? I did have $80, and so I became the captain of this tiny rinky-dink boat that looked like we won it in a box of Cracker Jacks. It was so flimsy. But we head out in the boat, just my son and I, and within about a half an hour, we're out in the ocean, and the weather turns, and the waves are huge, and they are crashing over the side of this boat, and I am scared that we are going to capsize because we are far from land. And I look at my son, and he's got his arms in the air, and I think he thinks this is a Marine version of Call of Duty, because he's going, "This is the best day of my life." And I said, "No, it's not. It's bad. This is scary. I'm really worried." And he said, "Mom, relax. Remember what Grandpa said. We're paying for the story." And that made me laugh and calmed me down. And as you can see, I did make it safely back to shore. My grandfather passed away peacefully at the age 94. At his celebration of life, we all shared stories of his wonderful humor. And at the end of the service, my little nephew walked up to the casket and knelt down in front of it and bowed his head silently. And I turned to my brother and said, "That's so beautiful. He's saying goodbye to his grandpa." And I started tearing up, and my brother started tearing up. It was a really beautiful moment. And then my nephew whipped his head up and said, 18, 19, 20, ready or not, here I come. And he ran off after the other kids. He wasn't saying goodbye to anyone. That little thing was playing hide and seek. And my brother said, "That better not go in your funny journal." And I said, "What can I say, bro? Sometimes we're paying for the story." My grandpa would have loved that moment. I'm so grateful for life's second chances. And I'm so grateful for a sense of humor and to laugh to make up for the times when we couldn't. I hope that you will enjoy your life. I hope that you will find whatever filter works for you, whether faith or gratitude or laughter, and find the power of living a good life. Thank you so much for sharing time with me.